After World War II ended, thousands of German officers and European collaborators suddenly found themselves in danger. Many of them had worked with the Nazi regime, from France to Croatia, and they knew that trials and punishment were waiting. Their only option was to run, far from Europe and the Nuremberg courtrooms. But one question remains: why did so many of them choose Argentina as their refuge? When Berlin fell in May 1945 and Germany signed its surrender, Europe became unsafe for anyone linked to the old regime. Yet the entire Nazi network didn't disappear overnight. Powerful sympathizers still existed across the continent. Countries like Spain, ruled by Francisco Franco, quietly supported them. Officially neutral, Spain became a temporary safe zone and a bridge for fugitives trying to reach distant lands. Even within Switzerland and parts of the Catholic Church, certain influential figures helped create escape corridors. These secret routes allowed men accused of war crimes to vanish from Europe and reappear overseas under new identities. Across the Atlantic, Argentina's President Juan Perón opened the door wide. A known admirer of aspects of German ideology, Perón saw an opportunity. With help from his diplomats and intelligence officers in Europe, Argentina organized travel papers and safe passages through Italy and Spain, guiding many ex-soldiers and collaborators toward Buenos Aires. Culturally, Argentina already had deep European roots. Millions of its citizens were of Spanish, Italian, or German descent. During the 1930s and 1940s, these connections grew stronger. Trade, language, and heritage bound the nations together. While Argentina officially joined the war against the Axis powers at the very end, sympathy for Germany and Italy still lingered among parts of its elite society. There were also practical motives. Wealthy businessmen of German descent were willing to finance these escapes. And Perón himself believed these fugitives, especially engineers, officers, and scientists, could strengthen Argentina's military and industrial future. Similar to how the United States and the Soviet Union later recruited German scientists, Argentina wanted to gain knowledge and manpower from Europe's collapse. But there was another layer: politics. In 1945, many world leaders foresaw a new global rivalry, not between Nazis and allies, but between the capitalist United States and communist Soviet Union. Perón imagined Argentina as a third power, positioned between the two. Since many of these escaping men were fiercely anti-communist, he thought they could become valuable allies in that future struggle. However, things didn't stay that way forever. When Perón's government was overthrown in 1955, many of those fugitives began to fear deportation. Some fled again, while others blended quietly into Argentina's large German-speaking communities. A few were eventually tracked down decades later, but many lived out their lives in silence, never facing justice. The network that carried them across the world was later known as the Ratlines. Two main routes existed, one through Spain to Argentina, and another through Italy, departing from the port of Genoa. Geography also played its part. Latin America, far from the reach of European courts and Allied forces, offered the best chance of disappearing completely. Over time, fugitives spread across South America, to Chile, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Colombia. But Argentina remained the preferred destination because of its open doors and sympathetic leadership at the end of the war. In the decades that followed, many of these men faded into history, their stories buried under layers of time, secrecy, and denial. But the traces of their journey still echo, in the archives, in the towns they settled, and in the questions that continue to haunt the past.